There have been many changes for the Missouri football program over the years since the 1960s. Expansions, the Memorial Stadium, changing of conferences, but one thing has stayed the same, a rollin' on the field for the Tigers at Faroe.
11,000 Americans were injured by fireworks last year. Now that accounted for just 0.04% of all injuries in the United States. To compare, close to 123,000 people were injured by baseballs in 2016. Thanks, Jordan. We're out here live just behind the Hearn Center, and we'll start walking back this way. There's quite a bit going on already this morning. A lot of people out. Breakfast on the menu, obviously, as it's still early. 3 o'clock kickoff, but a lot of people coming up before.
Thanks, Jordan, and good morning. Now, today's a very interesting game between the Missouri Tigers and Florida Gators. The Tigers actually just drove by right in front of me as they head into the stadium in their buses. This is Adam Rowland. He's a senior offensive lineman for the Missouri Tigers.
You know, a lot of people dream of making it to the NFL and going anywhere possible to be able to make that happen. My goal was always just to be able to come and play for this university.
He always said that he wanted to come and play football at Mizzou.
Rowland may be unfamiliar to many. In his 4 years at Mizzou, Rowland played in one game. But let's go back a second. Rowland is an offensive lineman. So why is he wearing the number 23? There have been many changes for the Missouri football program over the years since the 1960s. Expansions, the Memorial Stadium, changing of conferences, but one thing has stayed the same, a rollin' on the field for the Tigers at Faroe. This is Johnny Rowland, a Mizzou legend, NFL running back and coach, and Adam's grandfather.
I'm happy for him. He's chasing his dream. And has chased his dream.
Johnny's number 23 is retired by Mizzou, but for senior night, Adam was allowed to wear his grandfather's number.
It was as emotional as I've ever been. Easily the most emotional night I think that I've had. As soon as I walked in the locker room and saw the 23 on the pads, I knew it was going to be a pretty rough night, and then I was going to have the tears flowing for a little while.
Adam's road to his senior night was never the most glamorous. Adam switched from offense to defense, back to offense, while never getting that big break. But that never affected him.
It takes a lot of intestinal fortitude, I think.
I said, I'll do whatever you guys need me to do. And that's been my mindset from the moment I walked into this program. You know, as a walk-on, I wasn't necessarily expecting to be able to see the field very often, so my goal coming in was do whatever the program needs. And
he's totally happy with what he was doing, you know, giving the guys a good-looking practice, being dedicated to the team.
He thought, it doesn't matter what they ask me to do, I'm going to do as best as I can wherever it is.
Now, Adam hopes he has left a mark on the program.
My challenge to the younger guys is to get this passionate about what you're doing. You know, when you get to a point to where it hurts to be able to leave, you know, it hurts your heart, you know, that's saying something.
Evan Lachnit, KMU8 Sports, Columbia.
You want me to count down?
One of the needs that we were seeing within the community was dealing with children in grief. There weren't a lot of resources for it, and they were kind of the forgotten mourners.
I couldn't do it.
This camp was developed by our hospice to be able to serve families in our community and help give parents the resources they need to help with their own grief as well as their children's grief, but also for children to come meet with other children who have lost a loved one and create a sense of normalcy and help them cope with their grief.
There you go. All right, you ready?
Camp Magic is so helpful for kids, and everybody forgets kids when they're grieving. It's the socialization with somebody else, to be there with you, to help you, that brings up an issue that maybe you can't bring up yourself, but they can. Yeah, I feel that way. Yeah, it's okay to feel this way, especially when it's somebody that you love so much.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
My grandson is a participant again this year. It did him so much good last year that we asked to come back. When my husband passed away, Owen was very close to him, and so it gave him an outlet to get his anger out and gave him steps to channel his anger, his loss, his ways of doing it. It gave him confidence to talk about it.
Parents have shared that they save the memory boxes that they make and that they are excited to come back and do the ropes course with the Parks and Rec, but also get to have a safe place to express their grief with other children.
Yeah.
He's live in the studio to tell us more about the results of the study and why it continues a positive trend.
So maybe living in Boone County counteracts bad diet choices or something?
Is that what you're telling us?
I don't think it's exactly what the study says. I think you have to put your effort in.
Eat more pizza.
I mean, that sounds good to me. But
The Missouri Tigers football team took the field yesterday, and that is about it. If fans felt disheartened and upset after the South Carolina game, I do not think I can say on television what they are thinking today. The team went from bad to worse to frankly just sad as they took on the Purdue Boilermakers yesterday afternoon at Faurot Field.
November 10th, that was 42 days ago. And that was also the last time the Missouri women's basketball team lost. And it was their first game of the year. And now it's obvious Mizzou football has struggled in the month of September. But as the Tigers had a bye week this week, other SEC schools showed Missouri fans they are not the only ones suffering. We start in Baton Rouge, LSU taking on Troy from the Sun Belt Conference. Troy up 10-0 in the second half, make it 17-0. Jordan Chun scores the short TD, Troy up 17-zip. Then in the fourth quarter, Josh Anderson scores a rushing TD, putting Troy up 17 points in Death Valley at night. This is unthinkable. Unthinkable. LSU would make a comeback attempt in this one, trailing just 3, but Danny Etling throws an interception. Troy beats LSU 24-21. Troy was paid nearly $1 million to beat LSU on its homecoming. To Alabama now, Ole Miss taking on the Crimson Tide, and this one was ugly from the start. Bo Scarborough opens up the scoring in the first quarter with this TD run, 7-0 Bama. On the next possession, Shea Patterson throws the pick. The wideout gives no help. Levi Wallace returns it 35 yards. Nice blocks along the way. Bama up 14-0, and they do not look back from there. Bama dismantles Ole Miss 66-3, the most points Alabama has scored in a game since 1979.